welcome to Butterflies of Wisdom, everyone. This will actually be a special episode airing tomorrow, which is Sunday, because it's someone's birthday on Tuesday, August.
Yay!
And it happens to be Mel's birthday, August 1. And a lot of people have birthdays August 1, twice. And Mel offered to do what we did on my 30th birthday, which was ask me insider questions about me. And I offered to turn the tables on Mel and do the same thing. So I'm just going to pull up my notes here, and then we'll get started, you guys. Now, if there was a theme song played in the gym specifically for you, what would that theme song be?
Ooh, that's a good one. Whew. Whenever every ball player dreams of a walk-up song, and your walk-up song is when, the stadium announcer says, number 33, Mel Martin, or whatever, right? Number 22, Will Clark, and you're walking up to the plate to go hit. I have a couple of different walk-up songs or gym songs that I would play. The first one would be Thunderstruck by AC/DC because it's got this awesome guitar riff in the beginning. And then maybe Back in Black by AC/DC. And then another one could be More Bounce to the Ounce by Roger and Zapp. Just real powerful songs like that. And the funny thing is when I've worked out with headphones on, with everything from, believe it or not, Frank Sinatra or Michael Bublé, Rat Pack type music, all the way to, loving ballads by Earth, Wind & Fire, all the way to the Scorpions, rock music. I've even done The Four Seasons by Vivaldi, classical. It just depends on what my energy flow is that day. It's a meditative time for me when I work out. I get my best flowing creativity around it when I'm doing it. So that's what I would do if that was my theme song in the gym.
Yep. Well, no, in the Balby's world, no of that aspect in the Balby's world. We're all wrapped in plastic. None of that for you, Mel. It's all depending on how you feel that day.
Yeah. I mean, I'm blessed to have grown up with a very wide variety of musical tastes. I've gone to a lot of concerts. I love live productions. I studied Royal Shakespeare literature in London with the Royal Shakespeare Company. I actually love classical music because, there's just something about a symphony and how it works together in concert where it has to be perfect. If just one wrong note from one instrument or one instrument player just off key somewhere could ruin the entire thing. But if it's done correctly, especially in a live symphony, it is just a magnificent thing, for sure.
I agree with you. And my next question is, what is your ultimate favorite thing to do outside of coaching? I know you love coaching clients, but it's got to be the ultimate favorite thing you have to do if your life's dependent on it, outside of coaching.
Oh, outside of coaching? Are you asking me what my dream job would be or just dream activity or anything like that? Wow. Is that what you're asking me?
What is your dream job if you can do it outside of coaching?
Okay. All right. I got a few. All right. And not necessarily in any order, but this is what I would do. I would love to be the starting third baseman for the San Francisco Giants baseball team, batting fifth in the lineup. That's the first, right? I would love to be part of the America's Cup sailing team competing against New Zealand. I just think there's just something about that sailing crew that's just fantastic because they train unbelievably and you got to work together as a team to win a cup. I would love to have my own show on TV, kind of like Guy Fieri's Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, or Roger Mooking's Man Fire Food, where I travel around the country going to awesome restaurants and trying different cuisines and talking about them. I would absolutely love to do that.
Yes.
Honestly, those are the three. Oh, I'd love to be I would love to drive in a European Formula One race. I think that would be just fantastic.
European. Why? Now that leads me to my next question, which isn't on my list, by the way. Why would you say European instead of U.S.?
Well, Formula One is international, so even if it were, a domestic race here in America, I would do it. But I think there's only like Sonoma in California and then Watkins Glen in New York. I wouldn't mind doing a 24-hour of Le Mans in Florida, but there's just something about doing a Formula One race in Europe, maybe somewhere in Spain or somewhere in England, France, somewhere, Italy, somewhere like that. It's just geographically, it's just more the romantic side of it to be in those countries to do it. And it's what they do, I mean, Formula One is not really, from what I could see, it's not really strong here in America. It's more, the mainland here is more NASCAR and Top Fuel drag racing, so, but I would love to do Formula One there, because it's got a lot of turns and straightaways and Formula One racing is very highly regarded in Europe, just like they do NASCAR here in America. And there's just something about it I love,
That's just something that you love. Well, that's interesting that your ultimate dream job outside of coaching would be Formula One racing. I thought you were going to say surfing or something like that. Something in the athletic field.
Okay, wait, there is one. There is one, though.
There is one?
Now that you mentioned surfing. Yeah, now that you mentioned surfing, I would love to be part of a really awesome canoe team, like they do in Hawaii, where they have those canoe races, paddleboarding. And it's, and it's what, 7 or 8 or 10-man teams, and you're just in a canoe, an old-style island, Pacific Islander canoe.
It's funny you say that, because a lot of people don't know this. And in January, my book about Team We Win is coming out. Just a plug on that one. And so it's so funny, Mel, you say that, because they opened up the Kona Ironman with that, and they opened up with a big Hawaiian drum as well. So that's how the race started, and my God, how to kick off the adrenaline rush, my God, off that. So, that's how they open up the Kona Ironman race, is with the guys in the canoe, and I forgot about that, actually. So I have actually seen that firsthand, and it's pretty unique to see.
Oh, yeah, they're just the endurance and the power that you have to have as a team and individually to do that, and the technique, all that. I mean, I have a client who actually was a canoe racer, and he used to tell me about it, and I used to think, God, that would just be a fantastic thing to do. I mean, there's a lot of things I love that I would think, God, I would love to do that. I'd like to be part of a really awesome championship rugby team, or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, those are the types of things I love to do.
Yes. That would be your dream job outside of coaching.
Totally fun.
So you're not leaving your coaching field or your podcasting field anytime soon. I know that.
No.
I know that so fast. You're not leaving anytime
not for a while.
soon. Not for a while. Okay, my next question is, where do you see yourself in the next 10 months?
In the next, how long? 10 months?
10 months, yes.
10 months, okay. That would be, what are we now? August, so 10 months would be June 1st. Okay, I'll tell you where I'm going to be in 10 months. I would have finished authoring my book for sure. I will have another podcast that I'm doing where I'm interviewing some world-class guests, fellow coaches or people of inspiration. I will be 99% online coaching only at a high level, and directing numerous groups of coaching throughout the week. And the 1% I have left over for coaching will be in-person training with just some clients that have been with me, 10, 15, 20 years, and I would just keep them because they're a lot of fun to be with, and it helps me keep that human connection and helps me pay homage to the foundation of my career. In 10 months, I would have finished my first full-on marathon in December, and I would be preparing for my first ever classic physique competition on stage in June, which is something I've never ever done before, which is going to be very challenging for me because my background is bodybuilding, and I spent all that up until about 5-10 years ago. And then I just worked out just to stay in shape, and then I started running 2 years ago, which kind of shifted my health and fitness. So after the marathon this year, when that's done, come the spring of next year, my son Ian is going to be competing in his first classic bodybuilding show, and we're going to focus on him, get him ready for it, and once he's done his, then I'll do mine in June, and we might actually compete together in the same show, but just in different categories.
How cool is that?
Personally, yeah, and
How
then
cool is
personally,
that?
I just plan on just being happier and more grounded and learn more, and just living a fulfilled life. Yeah, that's where I see myself in 10 months. That's really not very far, So no, not very far. There is a software called Be Live TV, which I use with my co-host Lourdes Campos. We have a show called The Switch at Facebook Live, and it's instead of a podcast that's auditorial like you and I do, it's a video cast. And Be Live TV is a software you can use where you can have split screens of 2 to 3 or 4 people on screen online, which basically is TV, the new television now. And we're going to have a pajama party show tonight, as a matter of fact, where we discuss everything, all the reader topics that are sent to us between health and fitness and life and love and sex and all that stuff. So it's a very emotionally intelligent and funny way of looking at life. So I could see myself expanding that role later on and developing other people in their businesses as well, which is something I've done very much in the past.
Yes.
That's my 10-month place right there.
That's 10 months right there. And I'm just going to say this to you guys publicly. Mel, you have helped me expand my horizons and become a better person of life. Let's just put it that way.
Oh,
since
thank you.
I worked with you, and since I now use you on the occasion as my life coach. And so you have helped me become a better person
thank you.
of life.
Thank you for that. And one of the reasons why, well, I'll just put it this way. We've brought the best out of each other, and that's what I believe a successful friendship and collaboration and coaching relationship is. If we did not gel right from the get-go like we did, I don't think we could be thriving as co-hosts, let alone life coach and client. So kudos to you for working real hard, and kudos to you for applying all those things. And I've seen you grow quite a bit as well with taking risks in your life and making changes. So I think we both have served each other really well.
Well, thank you for saying that, but enough about me. Let's get back to you. And if you had to go on a desert island for 1 week and could only take one thing with you, what would it be? And it doesn't have to be a person. It has to be something that you can survive on. For the exception of food, it has to be something that you could survive with or survive on for that 1 week.
Ooh, okay. That's a good one. Okay, blink, I open, I'm on a deserted island. So obviously an island is going to be surrounded by a body of water, which means I have water. Okay. I have air. Food, if it's if it's an island, there's going to be sustenance there from vegetation to fruits and maybe even animals.
Yes.
I would say, boy, one thing.
One thing.
Okay, I'm going to cheat.
One thing.
I'm going to say a hunter's knife that has a compass attached on the end, and the knife is going to have serrated edges as well as a sharp edge, and it's also going to have a flint striker so that I can create fire. That's it. If I had to bring one tangible object, that would be it.
I'll would be it.
I will assume that I have clothes. I'll have clothes on. I'm not going to be dropped naked onto the island, right? And even if I did, I could figure out a way to clothe myself. That's it. I think so. I mean, I would, if you could say, yeah, I'll bring my iPhone with me, but what if they don't have reception and online reception? Then you're screwed anyway, right? So I would have to say that's what I would be totally Rambo. That's who I would be.
And that question,
totally
there's a reason why I came up with that question is because I was, for some weird reason, I was thinking of the movie Castaway today, with Tom Hanks, and if you remember, he meets Wilson. He starts interacting with Wilson when the plane crashes, and I thought, well, wouldn't that be a cool question to ask Mel? And for some other reason, I knew you were going to say it's with something nice, and I knew you wouldn't go say your iPhone. So that's the meaning behind that question. Now I'm going to ask you, what is your why behind what you do? Your coaching.
Ooh. Okay. Why do I coach? What's the why that I have? With the risk of sounding real arrogant, and I hope I'm not, and I say this humbly because I absolutely respect this gift that I have that God gave me. I'm talented. I'm good at it. And I understand what it takes to work and live and play and win and lose at a championship level. And I've done it all my life. And I've had this gift handed on to me by the universe and God and, whatever greater body of, faith is out there, that I'm able to communicate, I'm able to articulate, I'm able to assess, I'm able to see things before they happen. I'm somewhat of a healer, if you will. I've been told that by some very credible people that are very educated and experienced that I was a light worker in a previous life, which means that having gone through some tragedy and pain, a light worker is somebody who heals others because of that. And I believe I have that. I have those kind of qualities. I just love what I do. I love bringing the best out of others, and I know how to do it. I can't do it with everybody, and I'm not interested in being the best coach in the world, which is something I don't think exists. But I'm absolutely the perfect and greatest coach in the world for the person I gel with and who's someone who needs me. So if my message resonates with somebody and we are on the same frequency and around the same mindset and heart wavelength, I absolutely know how to bring the best out of somebody. If they're willing to take the action and be the best that they can be, or at the least listen and gather the tools, I have 33 years of hundreds of client hours and clients that have created this incredible professional biography I have, ranging from post-cancer patients to Major League ball players, and every single one of them helps me pay it forward and coach the next person. Every single one of them. And I don't know of very many people that are at my level around the world. There's a few, I'm sure there are, but we're few and far between. And that's what makes me stand out. I've been doing this for 33 years. As a matter of fact, next Tuesday I'm going to be sharing on I decided to do a live birthday webinar where I'm going to share the top 5 things that I do that have helped me stay in shape at 50 to be greater than I was at 33. You know, just the things I believe that have helped me, and hopefully it'll help somebody else. You know, so the why behind it is that I get to wake up every day and I get to do that. And I'm not going to waste it. I don't take it for granted. I have two sons that are 15 and 17, and I've surpassed my first goal, which is being in the best shape I possibly could be in, because I became a late dad at 36. And I was able to coach all of their youth sports anytime they needed a bullpen catcher. When they pitched, I caught for both teams. Anytime they needed a coach to organize the whole team, I would. I took my older son to a state championship on a tournament team. Now that they're older, I'm working on my second goal, which is they're 15 and 17 now, so they're far self-sufficient on their own. My younger son's a giant of a boy at 15, 5'10", almost 200 pounds, football player, and he's working out with the school team. My older son has retired basically from high school sports. He pitched his last game last year for his high school and decided to be a full-time bodybuilder. And when he made that transition a year ago, I coached him and I trained him and I gave him the tools that allow him to train at a high level now, and he's learning more and more every day. So now I get to enjoy watching them. I get to be a fan, and I coach at a different level now. You know, they come to me now for advice and certain things, which is the greatest reward I've ever received, because it's sad to see a lot of kids out there that don't want to talk to their moms and dads about certain things or advice, and they don't want to open up to them. And I'm very lucky that my sons do. Now, my second goal at coming up on 53, and if you figure 10 to 15 years is about the average amount of time it's going to, I estimate that my sons will become dads themselves, which is, one of my main goals is raising them to be loving fathers and caring husbands. I'm training as hard as I can to keep myself in shape so that when my grandchildren come, I'm not old and decrepit. I've had clients in the past, Lynn, that were grandparents, that were young grandparents. We're talking 60, 55, and you know what their main goal was? I just want to be able to get up and down off the ground so I could play with my grandkids. Oh, my God, can you imagine?
Oh,
can you imagine? My goal is to get up and down off the ground? I'm like, I bounce off the ground. I don't,
Yeah.
So I don't take it for granted, my mobility. I don't take I train hard and I work hard and all that, and it's a gift that was given to me. I don't, take it for granted. And heaven forbid I get in an accident tomorrow, knock on wood, and that changes my life. Even then, I believe I would have a strong enough spirit as I go through that challenge to say, okay, what do we do next? And I may be knocking on your door saying, okay, Lynn, what do I do here? My life has changed. I'm physically not the man I used to be,
Yeah.
So that kind of thing. So I want to be the fittest and happiest and best grandpa I can be. That's my next goal, So
it's interesting you say that, because I have a friend who I met via Facebook, and she's in the social media realm, and she came knocking on my door on Monday saying that she got diagnosed with Bell's palsy on Monday. And what Bell's palsy is, it's not CP. It's not CP, but it is in the palsy family. So it's CP sister. And what Bell's palsy is it makes you look like you had a stroke. So she came knocking on my door, and she's told people this. I saw on Facebook her in the ER, and she goes, Wynn, by the way, I'm now diagnosed with Bell's palsy. What do I do? And I said, okay,
right.
You keep educating people about cerebral palsy. I'll keep trying to educate people about Bell's palsy, because now we're talking about the two different palsies, but in the same family.
Right.
So it's interesting that you say you never know how life can change.
Right. No, you don't. And I could be one one step away from hurting a leg on a run. I mean, heck, I just came back from Lake Tahoe, the Lake Tahoe Mountains, and did a pretty grueling Ragnar Tahoe team relay event where we covered 140 miles between 7 people. And I wasn't even able to run my third leg. The rest of my team had to pick me up because the side of my foot got bruised and I couldn't step and run. So, you're one step away from falling off a cliff literally, or breaking a limb, or, heaven forbid, losing your ability to walk or your sight or whatever the case may be. I mean, life can change in an instant. I've learned that really well. A lot of people say, oh, that'll never happen to me, or it takes a lot to change. No, it doesn't. Not at all.
No. No,
there could be a
doesn't.
plot twist beyond your control. And so that's why it's very important to live in the moment. It's very important to live in the moment.
Live in the moment.
Have anxiety. Oh yeah. When you live with anxiety or you deal with it, you tend to not be in the moment because you're too worried about what hasn't happened yet. And it's all in your mind. And I've learned, through a lot of work and through great coaching and practice that the only thing that matters is right now. It's that my actions moving forward and my ability to breathe is the only thing that I can control. I can't control anything else. Sometimes it's going to be good. Sometimes it's going to be effective. Sometimes it's not. But it doesn't matter. Here we are now.
Yeah, no.
What are we going to do? Yeah. So there you go.
Here we are now in the present moment. What are we going to do?
Mm-hmm.
And that leads me to my 2 final questions. If I was going to give you $1,000, what would you do with it?
$1,000. Well.
Yeah.
I wouldn't keep it. I would find a way to make somebody's life better with it. That's what I would do. Whether it's feed some people who need to be fed, whether it's help somebody with a bill that will elevate them and take the stress off them, whether it's add to somebody's emergency fund so that they're a little safer. Or I may just say to you, Wynn, why don't we find a way to make our show better, or let's reinvest it in your business to make you better. I don't need the $1,000. What I want is to make sure that if I'm given something like that, I could share the wealth with the world and feel great and know that I did it. I would humbly say thank you. Now let's figure out how we can use this wisely, and let's enjoy it. I mean, maybe out of 1,000, I'd say, well, maybe we can go eat out. Let's go eat out, and we'll spend maybe 100 of it, and that'll be all I would take. Let's have a nice meal, and then maybe over dinner or lunch we would sit down and think about and mastermind who can we help with this rest of this $900. And there you are, adding massive value to the world. That's what I would do.
Yep, give it back. Mm-hmm. And if someone asked me that question, I would say I would put half of it away and then give half of it to someone in need. Because you and I are very lucky. And I got lucky end of the disability end of it. And I got lucky in the life coaching end of it too. And so you and I are very lucky. But other people are not so lucky. So when you think about it, when I heard that on another podcast, if I was, she actually said, if I was going to give you $100, what would you do with it? And people were saying get a massage, people were saying hire a VA, people were saying, but they never really said give it back to other people in need.
Right. Yeah, that's my initial thought, because there have been so many people in my life, in my adult life as a professional, even in high school and college, that helped me arrive to this moment now in my life. I could tell you that. I did not succeed alone. No one else ever does. There have been people that have stepped up and just given me everything, and I can't really complain, So, what else you got, Wynn? Hello?